If you shop at Aldi, you already know why people love it. The cramped parking lots that test your ninja skills, the no-nonsense store layout that cuts the fluff, and that quirky quarter-cart rental system that feels like you've just been initiated into an exclusive secret society. But what you might not know is that Aldi's meat section holds just as many surprises. From surprising hidden deals and clever quality tips to a few secrets they'd rather you didn't explore too deeply, this is a revelation you can't overlook. Get ready to uncover the intriguing truth waiting just beneath the surface. Let us start with Aldi's beef. Walk over to that modest refrigerated case where the meat selection seems simple. Nothing flashy, just straight-up cuts of ground beef, steaks, and roasts sealed in plastic trays. The ground beef in particular looks like a steal. Often under $4 per pound, it feels like you have unlocked some frugal shopping level few others know about. The 80% lean ground beef is the unsung hero of weekend night dinners. Burgers, tacos, pasta sauces, meatballs, it handles them all with grace. Enough fat to keep your dish flavorful, but not so much that you are left spooning out pools of grease afterward. It is dependable, affordable, and always there when you need it. But here is the thing, Aldi will not advertise on the package. Much like that friend who travels the world yet never posts about it, the ground beef could be more well-traveled than you think. Thanks to a change in country of origin labeling laws back in 2015, grocery stores are no longer required to disclose if the beef comes from multiple countries. That tray of beef could be sourced from cattle raised in the United States, Mexico, Canada, or even Australia, all blended together before ending up at your local Aldi. The only required information where it was packaged. So, while you might see packaged in the USA, that does not guarantee the cow lived its life there. And if you are hoping for grass-fed beef packed with healthy omega-3 fatty acids, Aldi's standard beef might leave you disappointed. It mostly comes from conventionally raised cattle on grain-based diets designed to fatten them up as quickly as possible. Studies show that grass-fed beef can have up to 5 times more omega-3 content than grain-fed alternatives. So, while Aldi wins on price, the health benefits of the meat might not be quite as impressive. Then there is the family pack dilemma. That big block of ground beef looks like an amazing deal until you get home and realize you now own 5 pounds of rapidly aging meat. Unless you have a household of teenage athletes or an emergency meatloaf party planned, you are going to have to portion and freeze it immediately. Moving over to Aldi's poultry section, you will find chicken breasts, thighs, wings, and sometimes organic options under the Simply Nature brand. The first thing you will notice is the price difference compared to specialty health food stores. Aldi's organic chicken can be 30 to 40% cheaper. We are talking about saving real money on products that are usually reserved for people with Whole Foods loyalty cards. The Simply Nature chicken is USDA certified organic, meaning the birds are not given antibiotics or growth hormones, and they eat organic feed. That is a win. But before you picture happy chickens frolicking in wide-open pastures, know this. Aldi's organic chicken still comes from large industrial farms that meet the bare minimum organic requirements. The packaging offers no information about the farm name, location, or raising conditions. Transparency not really Aldi's strong suit. The birds might technically have access to the outdoors, but in practice that might mean a small enclosed yard attached to a large barn, housing thousands of birds. The idyllic farm life you imagine from the word organic does not always match the reality. That said, the chicken itself holds up. Whether you are grilling drumsticks, roasting thighs, or throwing shredded chicken into soups and stews, Aldi's poultry performs respectably for a fraction of the price. Another thing Aldi will not tell you is how inconsistent their meat selection can be. Some weeks you will walk in and find a fully stocked case of organic drumsticks. The next week, the same space looks like a meat desert with only a lonely pack of thighs remaining. Aldi keeps low inventory on purpose. It is part of their strategy to reduce waste and keep prices low, but it also means shopping. There can feel like dating someone who only answers texts every other day. You have to accept the unpredictability if you want the deals. If beef and poultry are the reliable workhorses of Aldi's meat section, then pork is the scrappy underdog, quietly delivering big wins to shoppers who know where to look. Aldi's pork chops, ribs, and roasts often fly under the radar, but the prices can make your jaw drop in the best way. Bone-in pork chops regularly sell for around $2 per pound, which feels like a pricing glitch compared to most supermarkets. That is not a mistake. Aldi keeps packaging and branding to an absolute minimum to offer the lowest prices possible. The pork quality is surprisingly solid for everyday meals. Those chops sear up beautifully in a skillet, or hold their own on the backyard barbecue grill. The ribs, meaty and tender when slow-cooked, ready to soak up your favorite sauce. The Aldi butchers know how to cut for home cooks who want maximum value with minimal fuss. But as always, there is a catch that does not appear on the label. Aldi does not provide much information on where the pork comes from or how the pigs were raised. The packaging will tell you it was processed in the United States, but that does not mean the pigs lived their entire lives here. Pigs may be raised in different countries and then brought to American facilities for final processing. The farming methods are not disclosed. You will not find any pasture-raised heritage breed or certified humane designations in the standard pork lineup. It is factory-farmed pork that meets basic industry standards. No more, no less. Another Aldi meat case heavy hitter is the Applewood smoked bacon. This is where Aldi turns up the charm. Sold under the Never Any brand or their standard store label, the bacon often comes in at under $5 per pound. That is about half the price of premium name brands, and the quality holds up well in the pan. The slices are thick enough to stay intact and crisp up beautifully without disappearing into a pool of grease. The flavor hits that perfect balance of smoky and salty, the kind that wakes up even the sleepiest house on a weekend morning. However, Aldi's bacon does have its secrets. Their standard bacon varieties contain nitrates and nitrites, which are preservatives some health experts link to long-term health concerns when consumed in large amounts. So, while your breakfast might taste amazing, your heart may be quietly sending you passive-aggressive warnings. And do not expect any sourcing transparency here either. The packaging provides zero clues about where the pigs were raised, what they were fed, or even which farm supplied them. You are simply buying into the Aldi promise of cheap, tasty bacon with some nutritional trade-offs you will need to accept. We have only gone through a part of the secret. If you find it interesting, please like and share it with everyone around you. Next will be the truth. You will regret if you ignore it. Speaking of unpredictability, Aldi's fresh turkey options are practically mythical. Around major holidays like Thanksgiving, you might score a butterball turkey for an incredible price. At other times of the year, finding fresh ground turkey at Aldi feels like winning the grocery lottery. Aldi does carry organic ground turkey under its Simply Nature label when it is available. The health benefits are solid. Turkey offers less saturated fat than ground beef, and you still get around 20 grams of protein per serving. The price often around $5 per pound, which makes it about 40% cheaper than at boutique stores. But those familiar plastic tubes of ground turkey do come with some quirks. You cannot see inside the package, so buying it is a little like opening a mystery box. Will it be perfectly pink and fresh or a little watery and uneven in texture? Customer experiences vary. Some say it cooks beautifully. Others report the meat turns mushy when browned in the pan. If ground turkey is a meal planning staple for you, brace for frustration. Aldi's availability seems random, appearing for months and then vanishing with no warning. Seafood lovers are not left out at Aldi. The freezer cases often feature wild-caught salmon, tilapia, shrimp, and scallops at prices that feel almost too good to be true. For example, Aldi's frozen pink salmon fillets typically sell for around $5 per pound compared to $8 to $10 at traditional grocery stores. Even the jumbo shrimp bags can offer serious savings. Aldi sources much of its seafood from certified sustainable fisheries, particularly under the specially selected and Fremont Fish Market brands. That sounds great and often is, but do not assume every product is created equal. Frozen tilapia, for example, frequently comes from farm operations in China or Indonesia. Those farms can vary widely in quality and environmental practices. Aldi does not advertise which specific farms supply the fish, leaving consumers with little way to know if their bargain seafood came from pristine waters or overcrowded farming pens. Even shrimp, while sometimes labeled as sustainably sourced, may be harvested under vague supply chain standards that make full traceability difficult. The seafood quality itself is usually decent and safe, but there is a trade-off between price and knowing exactly what you're getting. Another under-the-radar Aldi gem is their Deli Meats. The never-ending line of turkey breast, ham, and chicken breast claims to be free of antibiotics, hormones, and artificial ingredients. For families packing school lunches, this can feel like a huge win. The texture is clean, the slices hold up well, and the flavor leans towards simple rather than overly salty or processed. The price per pound is significantly less than premium deli meat brands, often under $5 per pound. But once again, do not expect Aldi to hand over a family farm history book. There is no farm of origin information on the package, and even the Never Any brand only guarantees compliance with industry standards for antibiotic-free raising practices, whether the animals were raised in small flocks on rolling hills or crowded barns with limited space. Aldi does not say. Let us not forget Aldi's surprisingly popular German-style sausages and Bratwursts, sold under labels like Deutsche Kühe and Park Street Deli. These meats tap into Aldi's European roots and attract cult followings among loyal customers. The Bratwursts sizzle up juicy and flavorful, perfect for backyard barbecues or Oktoberfest-style dinners at home. The price is shockingly low. You can grab a six-pack of Bratwurst for around $3 to $4. It feels like Aldi is daring you not to fill your cart. However, just like with their bacon and deli meats, Aldi does not provide transparency around where the pork was sourced. Ingredients lists often contain sodium phosphates, nitrates, and other common curing agents that some health-conscious shoppers prefer to avoid. So, while your taste buds may rejoice, your long-term health strategy may want to proceed with a little caution. Now let us talk about one of the biggest meat crowd pleasers Aldi sells, spiral sliced ham. Around the holidays, this product turns into a must-have centerpiece for many families. The giant bone-in ham already sliced for you is an absolute time saver when preparing meals for a large group. Just pop it in the oven, heat it through, and you are ready to serve. The price is almost unbelievable, usually landing between $2 and $3 per pound, which can be up to 30% cheaper than other grocery stores. You get a mountain of meat for your money, and the leftovers can stretch into days of sandwiches, omelets, and casseroles. The glaze packet included with Aldi's spiral ham is what really pushes it into crowd favorite status. Sweet, sticky, and with just the right hint of spice, it can make even the most reluctant dinner guest go back for seconds. It is basically holiday magic in a pouch. But of course, the magic comes with a trade-off. That glaze mix is packed with sugar, often more than 30 grams per serving, and a laundry list of additives including corn syrup solids and food starches. Not exactly clean eating. If you are watching your sugar intake or looking to avoid ultra-processed foods, you may want to skip the glaze altogether. The size of the ham can also be overwhelming. Most weigh between 8 and 11 pounds. Unless you are feeding a family reunion or the local football team, be prepared for ham fatigue by day 3. Even the most devoted ham lover will reach their limit after back-to-back meals featuring the same main ingredient. There is also the hidden concern of sodium. A single serving can contain more than 1,200 milligrams of sodium, which is over half the recommended daily limit. That number jumps quickly when you go back for seconds. So while Aldi's ham offers excellent value and convenience, it does not exactly earn points for heart health. Aldi's meat section has another unexpected star, its store-brand beef hot dogs, sold under the Parkview label. These beef franks are plumper and longer than the tiny hot dogs found at some traditional grocery stores. A package typically includes 10 to 14 big hot dogs that barely fit into standard buns. Fans of Aldi's food court-style experience will immediately recognize these as very similar to the hot dogs served at certain Aldi-owned stores abroad. The price point seals the deal. You are paying around $1 per jumbo hot dog, which feels like a victory over inflation compared to premium beef hot dogs that cost nearly twice as much elsewhere. The taste is solid. The snap when you bite into them is satisfying, and they hold up well on the grill. They also freeze exceptionally well, which means stocking up during sales makes perfect sense. But as always, there is more to the story. These beef hot dogs may say 100% beef, and that is technically true, but the ingredient list reveals plenty of extras. Corn syrup, sodium phosphates, potassium lactate, and other flavor enhancers make appearances. Each hot dog clocks in at over 500 calories before you even add a bun or condiments, and the sodium close to 1,500 milligrams per dog. That is more than half the daily recommended limit, packed into a single serving. For anyone monitoring blood pressure or overall salt intake, these numbers should be cause for serious pause. Aldi does not offer nitrate-free versions of these beef hot dogs under their main store brand. If you are hoping to find a cleaner label alternative, you will have to look elsewhere. Finally, let us talk about the premium beef cuts Aldi sometimes surprises shoppers with. Walk by the refrigerated fresh meat case, and you might spot thick-cut ribeye steaks under the USDA choice label. With rich marbling running through each steak, these cuts almost demand to be seared to perfection in a cast-iron pan or grilled over hot coals. The price point is what truly stops people in their tracks. You can often pick up a USDA choice ripey at Aldi for between $12 and $18 per pound. That is a bargain compared to steakhouse prices, which can easily run 3 to 4 times higher. The flavor and tenderness, if cooked properly, rivals restaurant-quality steak dinners. The marbling melts into buttery richness, creating a juicy, flavorful bite every time. But be warned, Aldi's beef suppliers lean heavily on large-scale production. You will find no information about whether the cattle were pasture-raised, grass-fed, or even which region they came from. These steaks are cut from animals raised within conventional industry practices designed for efficiency, not for small farm sustainability. Also, Aldi's premium steaks are rarely uniform. Some cuts require extra trimming of fat or gristle. It is like buying a luxury car that shows up missing a few interior details. Aldi provides the value, but you may have to do a little extra work before that ribeye hits the grill. Shopping in Aldi's meat section is an exciting gamble with many trade-offs. The value is great, the savings are undeniable, but the shady details lurk just below the surface, ready to surprise you. Master the labels, know what you're really buying, and shop smart to get the most out of Aldi. If you've made it this far, congratulations, you're now officially smarter than the average shopper. Like and subscribe to help us shine a relentless light on the deepest secrets of the food industry. And never forget, the truth isn't always served on the menu.